Hi everyone, welcome back to the Professional Knowledge Decode series of IBPS AFO 2026. If you have been with us for the last three episodes, you must be knowing how this works. We generally take one subject from the IBPS AFO Professional Knowledge syllabus and we go through every single previous year questions from 2013 to 2025 and we decoded the data and will tell you exactly what to study and which topics and all having more weightage and what to leave. Okay, and we had completed three episodes as of now: animal husbandry, agronomy, and horticulture. And today's episode will be on soil science, which is episode number 4 out of 10. So, totally, there are 10 episodes. Okay. And in this video, you will get the high priority subtopics and medium priority subtopics and skip list. Okay. High and six medium and six skip list topics were given based on the complete decoding of previous year question paper analysis. And also, we had given the 2026 prediction one based on the analysis, and this is not a guaranteed one, like we are just predicted, right? We have predicted and we have given. Okay, let's get into this subject more in detail. And let's start where we always start with the data. So, across 12 years of IBPS AFO previous year papers from 2013 to 2025, this soil science has contributed, 60 questions in total. Okay, and this is the number 4 subject. And this place, like this subject has secured fourth after the horticulture and all. And here is the important part is that it has never once been missed in any paper. So every single year, soil science shows up. In 2025 alone, it contributed three questions. Okay, and we are seeing early signs that soil quality has a theme is a becoming a new focus area for the paper setters. And now here is a number that should genuinely interest you across all these years. Okay, just 15 plus distinct subtopics were ever tested. So compared to agronomy, horticulture, where the scope keeps expanding year after year, but the soil science stays narrow. And within that narrow scope, six subtopics have repeated three or more times each. And that is not a coincidence, that is a pattern actually. Okay. And this is the single most important insight of this episode. Okay, here we have given the split up frequency breakdown based on the question paper analysis from 2013 to 2025. So, first six questions had come from soil reaction, that is pH topic alone, and five topics were asked from problematic soil and nitrogen cycle and process and all. And four topics each were asked from soil organic matter and humus, soil classification and types, soil texture, structure, and water. And soil amendments and reclamation, where three questions were asked: soil microbiology, bioremediation, soil erosion and conservation, soil horizons, and profiles. So these subtopics from where three questions from each were asked. Okay, so this is the frequency breakdown. Please take a screenshot, and this would be useful for your complete preparation of this subject. Okay, and if you master these subtopics which we had given, definitely like you may be having some reliable scope to get the marks from this subject every single year. Okay, so let's see the high priority subtopics first. And here comes, like, we are going to divide the soil science into three tiers, exactly like we did in the last three episodes: high priority, medium priority, and skip list. Okay, let's begin with high priority. As I have already told you several times, study these subtopics first. And here, under the high priority subtopics, six topics were given. And the first topic is soil reaction or pH. Here 6 questions were asked across the years so far from 2013 to 25, and this trend is marked stable. So this is not going anywhere. And here they ask the pH of different soil. Acidic soil pH is less than 6.5. Okay, and neutral soil generally sits between 6.7 to 7.5. Okay, and alkaline soil is anything above 7.5. Okay, and alkali or sodic soil specifically crosses 8.5, that was appeared in 3 years, 2018, 2019, as well as 2021. Okay, and the pH value of saline soil is that 6.5 to 8.5. We should not confuse with the neutral soil. Neutral is 6.5 to 7.5. Here 7.5 where it stopped, right? But here it just extended up to 8.5. Okay, no H pH, like no high pH. It just stopped 8.5 till 8.5, 6.5 to 8.5. And the best pH range for the most of the field crop is 6 to 7. Okay, slightly acidic to neutral. Okay, so from the IBPS angle, this alkali soil pH is the most repeated single fat question that was appeared 3 years, 2018, 19, 2021. And also there is a trap, like acidic soil does not have any free calcium carbonate, and this question was also appeared in 2023. Okay, so here the question type may be shifted. Sometimes they ask definition, sometimes they ask identification. So that's all about soil reaction. Next comes the problem soil. Here the trend is declining. So here the trend is marked declining, and 5 questions across the years were asked. Meaning it's asked slightly less often now than it used to be. Okay, but it's still very much active. This is where students use the mocks. Okay, by mixing up two similar sounding categories. So let's be precise on this topic. Okay, fine. Saline soil. Here the electrical conductivity value is important. They asked saline soil electrical conductivity is above 4 decisimon per meter. Okay, and pH is normal, and you will see a white salt crust on the surface. If that is a saline soil, you can see the white salt crust. Okay, next comes the sodic or alkali soil, pH above 8.5. Okay, and the exchangeable sodium percentage is above 15 percentage. Okay, ESP is more than 15 percentage for the alkali soil, and it is having the poor permeability, and this is the giveaway. And this is the dark crust or not white. Okay, just opposite of saline. Sodic or alkali is having the dark crust. Okay, not the white one. And saline alkaline. This saline and alkaline soil combines both the problem, like the easy you should remember. Okay, and next comes the state highest alkali or the saline soil is found in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so this question asked twice in 2019. And ESP of saline alkaline soil is more than 15. So here the alkaline soil is more than 50. So saline alkaline soil ESP is also more than 15, and this question was appeared in 2018. Okay. So from the IBPS angle, this question like Uttar Pradesh. Geography linked fact which was actually worth locking. Uttar Pradesh hold the highest alkali and saline soil area in the country. So this was asked twice into 2019. Okay, so here you should like I give you an advice: never let saline and sodic soil blur together in your mind. Both are different. Saline is the purely easy problem. Sodic is an sodium. Here comes the ESP problem. So that distinction alone is worth marks every single year. You should not confuse. Saline is the easy problem. Sodic is the ESP problem. Okay. And the next topic will be on nitrogen cycle and key process. Here the 5 questions had asked so far from 2013 to 25, and Here also this is having the rising trend. Means that IBPS is asking more from this topic in recent years, not less. Okay. So the first topic is nitrification. So here nitrification means that ammonia converts to nitrate through the bacteria Nitrosomonas, and this nitrate convert to nitrate through nitrobacter. Okay, how the ammonia is converting into nitrate, that comes the nitrification. And what is denitrification means? Just a reverse direction. Okay, here the nitrate breaks down into the nitrogen gas, which escape into the atmosphere. This question was asked in 2025. Next comes volatilization. What is volatilization? Means that where the urea is completely lost as ammonia gas. Okay, especially at the high pH or when urea is left on the surface, that is called volatilization. Okay, urea is completely lost as ammonia gas. Next important thing is that one more fact, urea is also called as amide fertilizer because it's nitrogen. Nitrogen is there in urea, right? That is existing in the amide. CONH2, nitrogen is there in urea that is existing in the form of amide, right? So this is called amide fertilizer, and this question is also asked in 2023. So from the IBPS angle, like denitrification, this question was appeared twice, 2015 and 25, and 10-year gap is there. Anyway, you can expect this question in written 2026. And Anamax appeared as a direct definition in 2021. Anamax means that anaerobic ammonium oxidation, especially it is a shortcut in the nitrogen cycle. Okay, that is the anaerobic ammonium oxidation. And next comes the amide fertilizer, which is nothing but urea. This question was appeared in 2023. And this nitrogen cycle is being tested from three different angle now: nitrification, denitrification, and anamax. Okay, so far we had completed 16 questions from high priority subtopics. 3 subtopics we had completed, and 3 more left that we are going to see in the next slide. And here let's continue with the second half of high priority list. So far we have seen 3 subtopics, and here 3 more subtopics were given. So the fourth topic is on soil organic matter, humus and carbon. And here 4 questions were asked across the years, and this is having the rising trend. So here the humus definition you should know. This question was asked in 2025. What is humus? Humus is described as dark, amorphous, colloidal, and highly resistant to decomposition. And this question asked in 2025. And there is a near identical framing is that non-living organic matter in soil also undergoing the decomposition. This was also asked as the definition of humus. Okay. So there is a two different definition: non-living organic matter in soil undergoing the decomposition. Okay, that is also called humus. This is asked to 2023 here question. And also you should know the conversion point, like from organic carbon to organic matter 1.724, that is Van Bemmelen factor. Here it is given. Okay. And a slightly older but memorable fact is that the compound which makes the soil appear white is calcium carbonate. And this was asked back in 2013. Okay. And why the organic matter resists decomposition means because, since it contains the lignin content. So that's why it resists the decomposition. Okay. So from this topic, you can expect the humus definition. This was the question asked back to back years, and you can expect this is your safest bet for the repeat in 2026 main exam also. Okay, and also you should know the conversion ratio. Okay, and next comes soil classification and type. Here 4 questions were asked across the year, and here the trend is stable. Okay. 2 terms that examiner, they can ask, and they can also have to confuse the students with this definition. What is pedology? What is edapology? You should not confuse these two terms, which is very important. Pedology means the study of soil origin, description, and classification. Okay. And this question was asked in 2024 and 2025. And next, edapology is the study of soil from the plant standpoint. Okay, that is the thing. And this was asked back in 2014. You must know the difference between pedology and edapology. Okay, and when it comes to soil types, they asked alluvial soil, where it is seen means endogangetic plants where it can be existed and it is the most fertile and it is having the highest crop area. Okay, so this soil mainly found across the endogangetic plant and remains India's most fertile soil type with the highest crop area. Okay, and the state maximum vertisol area is in Maharashtra. Vertisol means you must be knowing the black cotton soil, right? The highest string swell capacity will be there in the soil. So this kind of soil was found across the Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh and Andhra region. Mostly it was, majorly it was found in Maharashtra. And this question was asked in 2020. So from the IBPS angle, this pedology and edaphology type of definitions were appeared in 2024, 2025, and it is having the very high repeat probability in 2026 also. Okay, so this edaphology, pedology is the trap actually. You must be knowing the difference between the definitions. Edaphology is the plant relationship, pedology is the soil origin. That is the thing. Okay, and vertisol, this was also the test repeated or tested question over the years. So vertisol is found in Maharashtra. So that's all about the fifth topic. And sixth topic will be on soil texture, structure, and water. Here the 4 questions were asked so far, and here the trend is also stable. Okay. So the water holding capacity ranking, you must memorize the order. This ranking you must memorize. Okay. Clay is greater than the silt, and which is greater than the sandy soil, and that is greater than the sand. Clay greater than silt, greater than sandy soil, and greater than sand. Clay is having more water holding capacity. Okay. And next comes the definition part. Field capacity. What is field capacity? Means that water can be retained in the soil after the gravity drainage has stopped. That is field capacity. And this question was asked in 2020 year. And what is wilting point? Wilting point is different, right? Wilting point is the point at which the remaining water is no longer available to the plant. That is the state of permanent wilting. You should not confuse. Okay. And the more technical related questions were also asked, like PF value. What is PF value? Which is defined as the logarithm to base 10 of water tension expressed in centimeters of water column. That is PF. PF value means that base 10 logarithmic scale which measures the soil water tension. Okay. So this is important definition, and it was asked in 2024. Base 10 of water tension. That's it. Base 10 of water tension expressed in the centimeter of water column. That's it. Next comes the hygroscopic coefficient. What is that? That is water held by dry soil from the air. That is called hygroscopic coefficient. So from the IBPS angle, this PF value was asked in 2024 as a direct definition question. And this is a new concept. Nowadays, the IBPS exam is testing the question on this. You can expect. And water holding capacity you can expect to be asked in 2026 also, which is having the more water holding capacity. The soil, the clay is having more, then the silt, followed by sandy loam, and finally the sand. This is the repeat and comparison question you could expect. And field capacity and wilting point. So you should know the definition. What is the field capacity and what is the wilting point? This is the frequently tested questions, and this can be asked as a definition. You can expect this question to be returned in 2026 also. Okay. So far we had completed high priority subtopics, and here 28 questions were discussed so far. So please be thorough on this. So master these topics first, then you can go to medium priority questions. Okay. And here comes the medium priority questions. Once you have thoroughly studied high priority questions, like 28 questions we have discussed, right? That was asked from 2013 to 2025. So once that is done, you can move to medium priority question. Here we are giving 6 more subtopics. Okay. And IBPS has asked 3 questions from each of these 6 topics in the last 12 years. Okay, so for 18 questions were asked directly from here. Okay, and the good news is that all of them are actually factual related question, one-liner question you can easily crack. Okay, so the first topic is on soil amendments and reclamation. Here, the question is that gypsum chemical formula. So this is the direct question, and this question was asked in 2015. Okay, so the chemical formula gypsum, calcium sulfate, and 2H2O. Okay, and next thing is that which amendment is used to reclaim alkali or sodic soil? So the answer is that gypsum. Why? Because the calcium replaces the sodium. So for the alkali reclamation, we usually recommend gypsum to be applied since it replaces the sodium. Okay. And for the saline soil, leaching plus proper drainage. This is the main reclamation mainly given for saline soil. Okay, you should know the reclamation for the each soil. Okay, when it comes to the soil amendments part, there may be the questions to be asked. Okay, from the IBPS angle, they asked this concept 2 years consecutively, 2021 and 2022. And also remember, rock phosphate plus acidic soil. This is the repeat pair. Formula based questions are generally, IBPS favorite, I think. So here the 1 mark is a direct question you can easily solve. And next comes the soil erosion and conservation. Here the 3 questions were asked so far from 12 years questions. And the first question is that sheet erosion forms what type of structure downstream? Okay. So it forms the finger-like structure. Sheet erosion generally form the finger-like structures downstream. This question was asked in 2020. Okay. And to prevent the erosion in hilly areas, which is commonly recommended, means that bench terracing and budding, contour budding and bench terracing. This is generally recommended to prevent the erosion in the hills. So in general, if you are viewing the hills, there may be the arrangement of bench terracing and all. You might be come across these structures anywhere, right? So mainly to prevent the erosion, they raised those kind of structures over there. And next question is that what is percolation? This is also a direct question. That is a filtration of water through soil. That is known as percolation. This question was asked in 2016. Okay. So IBPS won't ask the direct name. They will give you the description or picture and ask you to identify the process. Okay. So they have directly given the description, but you should know the process, what the process is. Okay, like that. Sheet erosion means that finger structure. So these question generally, uses to test the knowledge without naming the process. and this percolation appeared 2026. So these are these and all straightforward marks, easy marks. Okay, so this test your observation, you can get the easy marks from this area. Okay, and next comes the soil degradation and quality. Here also 3 questions were asked so far from 12 previous questions. It is very important. In 2024, IBPS changed the pattern here. Okay, you can expect the questions from here from 2024. Define soil degradation. They asked the definition. Answer is that deterioration of productive capacity by the human activity. That is known as soil degradation. So, by the human activity, there will be the deterioration of the productive capacity. That is known as soil degradation. And this question was asked in 2024. Okay. Then what is soil consistency? This soil consistency is also called as plasticity. Okay, which means that deformation without cracking. That is known as plasticity as well as soil consistency. This was also asked in 2024. Got it? And what is the soil quality indicators? So indicators are generally physical combined with chemical and biological state. These are all the soil quality indicators, and this was also asked in 2024. Okay. And from the IBPS angle, there is one trap area. Wood ash contains the highest calcium in minute, right? But most of the students mark from, so don't make that mistake. Okay, wood ash generally is having the calcium. Okay. And next topic is on soil microbiology and bioremediation. This topic is, getting important since 2024. Okay, it's a new and this trend is arising since 2024. They kept asking the questions from this area. Here the question is specific rhizobium strain for the lentil crop. Okay, so the rhizobium strain used for lentil is that specific strain. What is a specific strain means? A strain means that rhizobium leguminosarum. That is a specific strain for the lentil. Okay, rhizobium leguminosarum. Okay, so this is the strain generally boosts the root nodulation, shoot growth as well as seed yield. Okay, just by converting atmospheric nitrogen into plant usable form. Okay, what is rhizobium? You must be knowing this is the symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria found in the root nodules. So here a strain is specific. I have already told what is that. This question was asked in 2024. Okay. And define bioremediation. This definition you can expect use of microbes to decrease the contaminants in the soil. So, okay, by using the microbes, how the soil contaminants are getting decreased. That is known as bioremediation. Bio means using the living organism. Remediation means it's a solution. Okay, this question was also asked in 2024. So from the IBPS angle, this microbiology related questions are having the trend. They kept asking, and this trend has been increasing since 2024. And one more recurring connection is that VAM. VAM means vascular orbiscular mycorrhiza, right? VAM means there not vascular. This is the vesicular. Okay, this is the vesicular orbiscular mycorrhiza. Okay, remember vesicular orbiscular mycorrhiza. This is a beneficial type of fungus, which generally, forms a partnership with the plant root to help them absorb the water and minerals from the soil. Okay, and what is this BAM? This is a phosphorus substitute fertilizer. Remember this is very important. This is having the recurring connection. Okay, And next comes the soil horizon and profile. 3 questions were asked so far from the previous year questions of 12 years. Zone of elevation. This kind of elevation is there? No. So in soil horizon. So you should be thorough on these areas. You can expect the questions from these areas. Zone of elevation is which horizon? And the answer is B horizon, where the leached materials are getting deposited, right? That is elevation. So the zone where the leached materials are getting deposited is known as elevation zone. This question was asked in 2020. What is elevation? You should not confuse with the elevation and elevation. Elevation means removal of materials from the A. Elevation means deposition. Okay. Leached materials are getting deposited means B horizon. Elevation means removal of material from the A horizon. From A horizon means which is nothing but the topsoil, right? That is known as elevation. A horizon means that is humus rich topsoil. Okay. B horizon means that the zone of iron and clay deposition. Okay. So if there is a humus rich soil means that is A horizon. If there is a iron or clay deposition zone means that is B horizon. Okay. And this topic was asked in 2020. Okay. And then skipped from 2021 to 2025. And it has the high probability to be returned in 2026. This elevation distinct is a classic trap we should know. Elevation is the removal from the air, is not removal of the material. Elevation is the deposit into the horizon. You should not confuse. This is a trap. Okay, you should be aware. Next comes the last topic is on fertilizers and menus. There are also 3 questions from the each subtopics. 3 questions were asked so far. Okay, around like 6, 9, 18 questions are there. Please be thorough on this. Fertilizers and menus. Here they asked can fertilizer. Can means that calcium ammonium nitrate. How much nitrogen is there? 26% nitrogen is there. Okay. And this is the neutral reaction in soil. Next, fertilizer called Sona. What is Sona? Sona is the branded name for the urea. That is a nitrogen fertilizer, right? And this question was asked in 2015 previous year question. And urea bag size, this is the repeated question. You can expect this question to be returned in 2026 also. And urea bag size was reduced from 50 kg to answer is 45 kg. This was the government policy related question. This was asked in 2022. It was previously 50 and it got reduced to 45. Okay. So IBPS is now mixing government policy with the soil science also. So government policy related questions you can expect because this is having the recent trend. Okay. This has become the rising trend in the recent years. And TAN's neutral reaction is also asked in comparison type question. Okay. So that's it about this medium priority question. 6 topics and 18 questions were asked in 12 years. Okay, you can expect some of the questions to be written. And the important strategy is that first you should thoroughly study the high priority question. Then come here the medium priority question. Then skip list is there. If you have enough time, you can study. Just go through. Okay. So in the next slide, we'll be covering this skip list and 2026 prediction for the soil science. Okay. All right. Now comes the most important slide of the soil science subject. This is called the skip list. So listen carefully. Soil science has 500 plus pages in textbook like Ball and his co-workers, but IBPS doesn't test all of it, right? They only test the top layer. And these 6 topics are the biggest time wasters. This is where 90% of the students waste their time and get the 0 exam return. So I'm telling you clearly, do not touch or waste your time on this topic until your high and medium priority questions are 100% completed. Okay, we have a time just to go through it because so far from the IBPS side, they have never asked the questions from this part. Okay, this is a skip list and take a screenshot or please note it down. First thing is that clay mineral lattice structure 1:1 versus 2:1 detailed ratio. IBPS will never ask. Kyolinate is 1:1 and montmorillonite is 2:1 expanding layers. What IBPS asks is that which soil has the highest shrink swell? That is Berti soil. This is mostly prevalent in Maharashtra, right? And they want the result, not the mineral structure behind it. So you can skip this depth. Next is that ion exchange equation and selectivity coefficient. Here some CEC calculation, Gapon equation, and Lagmuri isotherms. And these and all physical chemistry level, right? So this was never appeared in last 12 years of exam. And this belongs to soil chemistry research, not AFO professional knowledge. So you can skip it. We can do or skipping these questions. Next comes the Mansell soil color notation. Q value chroma. This will never ask. Soil color, is 10 Y R 3/2. 10 Y R means that it is a Q, right? Yellow red color family and means that soil has a yellowish brown tint. 3 means that value. Okay, Q means via. 3 means value. Or value means the darkness or lightness. 2 is the chroma. That is a color intensity, right? So from this area, like so far, no questions were arised. So it only asks the descriptive color like what makes us all white and all. Calcium carbonate. That is a concept, not a color code. Okay. You can expect the logical related question from the topic 3. They ask the concept, not the color code. So don't waste time learning the Munsell sports. Next thing is that topic 4 pedogenic process mechanisms in detail. Parcellization steps, lateration temperature, threshold, calcification depth. So IBP doesn't care about this process. They ask only the output. Output means that laterite soil is found in tropical region, right? This kind of thing they ask. Remember the result, not the mechanism, where it is prevalent, like that. And the next thing is that fifth topic is critical nutrient concentration level in soil, that is a ppm values. They will not ask zinc critical level, that is 0.6 ppm. DTPA extract. What they ask means which crop is responsive to zinc deficiency, like that they ask. Okay, they ask the crops, not the ppm cutoff or the values. So skip all the ppm data. And soil plasticity index and Atterberg limit calculation. So here the liquid limit minus plastic limit calculations, shrinkage limit measurements and all that. So this is the geotechnical engineering level questions. So important fact is that not a single question from this area have been asked in 2 years. 100% you can skip. Okay. So the final warning is that your time is limited. If you study these 6 topics means that you should study 50 plus pages, but you in return you will get nothing. So focus on high and medium priority questions first. Okay. And you study those questions thoroughly. Then if you have any time, 5 or 10 minutes at last time, you can just read on this topic. That too, I have told in which area they can ask. Okay, you can prioritize those areas. Okay. And finally, we have come to a complete priority map. So students, please take a screenshot or save this slide right now. This is called the complete priority map for the soil science subject. So I made this after analyzing 60 previous year questions from 2013 to 2025. And this map will help you exactly what to study and what to study later and what to skip. Okay. So we have divided this into 3 zones, right? High priority, medium priority and skip used. These are all I have already discussed in detail in the previous slide. Soil reaction, problematic soil, nitrogen cycle, soil organic matter, soil classification types, soil texture. These are all the high priority questions. 28 questions were asked so far from the previous year questions. So study first. Okay, you should focus on these topics first. This is your first priority. And next comes the medium priority. Here 18 more questions were asked so far. And what they are: soil amendments and reclamation, soil microbiology and bioremediation, erosion and conservation, horizons and profile, degradation and quality, and fertilizers and maintenance. Okay, this should be second part. Okay, and finally the skip list that have already been discussed. Right, you should not study because 0 questions were asked so far. This is the time waster zone. And anyway, I'm telling you that I'm not telling you that not to study. If you have a time, you can study. Okay. But in general, so far no questions were asked from this area. Okay. So that's it about this complete priority map. Take a screenshot and save this. And this is the final and most important slide of soil science 2026 prediction based on 12 years of previous year question data. Soil science has the highest prediction accuracy in IBPS AFO. Why? Because IBPS repeat the same 6 subtopics on 2 to 4 year cycle. Okay, this pattern gaps are very reliable here. I am giving you 6 topics with the percentage probability for 2026. If you revise this, you will get the good marks. Okay. And the first thing is that the top 3 high probability postings will be or maybe coming from denitrification, humus definition, soil degradation. 90%, 88%, 85% probability we have given based on the analysis. Okay. And next 3 topics, like this is having also the good probability next to this first 3 topics. Pedology definition, pedology, edapology. This question, because this pedology appeared back to back in 2024 as well as 2025. We can also expect this topic to be returned in 2026. Okay, and gypsum for the alkali soil reclamation. And this question also asked in the consecutive years. Okay, and the zone of elevation, which is D horizon, right? And this was appeared in 2020 and there was a 5 years gap. You can expect this to be returned. Okay. And the thing is that please take a screenshot at last time. If you have 1 hour or 2 hours means you can revise at least these 6 topics. This is the prediction only. We are not giving you any assurance. This is not a guarantee question also. Okay. This is the 2026 prediction based on the previous year question paper analysis. Finally, we have come to an end of this episode. Let's quickly summarize this episode number 4, soil science. So 60 questions were asked so far from 2013 to 25, and the soil science has secured number 4th rank in overall IBPS AFO subject. And we categorized into 3 major zones: high, medium, and skip list. Everything were thoroughly discussed in the respective slides. I hope you all got it. And also we have given 2026 prediction. And our most reliable subtopic will be on soil pH, as it is appeared in every single year, and you can expect this topic to be appeared or returned in 2026 also. And do not waste your time on clay mineral structure studies and all, because so far the IBPS has never asked the questions from this area. So kindly skip this. Okay, not to spend much time on this. Okay, and we had so far discussed 4 episodes, right? Animal husbandry, agronomy, horticulture, and soil science. Our next video will be on agri engineering. Okay, and so far we had completed 4 episodes, and still we are left with 6 more episodes. Okay, so please do watch it. And also I kindly request you to do subscribe our channel Tarvos Education and drop your comment. If you have any doubts related to this, please feel free to ask. We are ready to give you the answer. Thank you, Anando. We'll meet you next episode.